And Benedeto for Nick Schofield. 3 is Katgary, Henry Brook. 4 Workbench, Ian Popham. 5 the Grey Tailor, Danny Cook. And number 6 Theatre Flame, who's been the horse that's been attracting the attention in the betting markets. Matt, Daniel Hiskett claiming the £5 is the market leader.
Yes, and in typical trainer style, David Bridgewater saying earlier that he hadn't had a single penny on. Sevens though, down to 11-4 on track Theatre Flame, a recent good winner at Newbury. Sam Benedetto is at 7-2, the Grey Tailor at 9-2. Bright New Dawn, the one horse in here who'll love the ground on his Irish form, chased home Champagne Fever in a Grade 1 novice hurdle once upon a time over in Ireland. The festival winner Champagne Fever. Katgary at 11-2 and your Workbench at 9-1. Speaking of a workbench, here's ours.
Yeah, the runners, you might have just lost them actually. They're just circling.
He looked such a credit to you guys.
Thank you. He's a bit of a yard legend, really, I think, so everyone loves him.
Why is he a yard legend, Workbench?
Everyone loves him, so...
Is he a big character?
Yeah, really big. Got some personality on him. But yeah, it's just
And how does that come out?
Just in the stable, he just messes around and stuff, and it's just, yeah, he's just an absolute dude.
How are the nerves, girls?
Okay at the minute, but we'll soon find out when he jumps off.
All right, well, listen, very best of luck. All fingers crossed.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, good luck to them. Who's going to be celebrating here, Mick?
Well, just Sam Benedetto is probably the safest option as far as punting goes. He's won 3 of his 8 starts over fences, and you know, Paul Nicholls, he's a master at picking out these races. You know, he thinks it's, you know, it's plundering prize money. He hasn't been champion trainer all those times for nothing. He's the one. I think Bright New Dawn will run well if they go fast, and look for the grey horse there to try and lead them in merry dance.
What about the Grey Tailor then, Luke? I saw Brian Ellison earlier. He's 2 from 2 in this race.
Yeah, I don't know. At one stage, he's still quite a promising horse, but he's been really soundly beaten the last couple of times, and unless he steps up significantly, he's got no chance.
Let's see what happens with Richard Hoyles.
Yeah, the Grey Tailor's just been a little bit disappointing, and he, in his younger days, he really jumped those fences well. So interesting to see how he goes. And the gamble, if you're part of Theatre Flame, obviously not David Bridgewater, but maybe his lads, maybe a few of you this morning. The two-tone green colours, white sleeves, your colours away to the right-hand side as they're being called in. Just over 1 complete circuit, they work their way around the side of a fence they'll take on the next circuit and are sent on their way. So the Grey Tailor cutting out the running with Theatre Flame on the run towards the first of a dozen fences. Katgary in the black and white stripes, San Benedetto, who can be keen, just pulling a little hard in 4th place, the blue and white colours, but the pace is brisk. Bright New Dawn is in 5th, and Workbench at this stage is at the rear of the field. So just 1 fence on the home straight this time, and then they'll turn away and make their journey towards water jump, plain, and then open ditch, the full gamut of types of fences. And it's the Grey Tailor who'll lead that turn out onto the final circuit, leading by a length or so from Katgary in the striped colours on the outside of Theatre Flame. Squelch their way past our camera, turning away from the stands. It's the softest part of the track this afternoon. San Benedetto racing in 4th place just ahead of Bright New Dawn and Workbench. So this is the water jump, smallest fence on the circuit, but with a little bit of a span of water on the landing side, which they all clear perfectly okay. And then on towards a plain fence, the majority of the fences being of this design, as the Grey Tailor takes them over that. And next, an open ditch, which has the board positioned with a little bit of gap between it and the fence, requires the horses to stretch a little more on takeoff. The Grey Tailor approaches the open ditch and gets to the other side well, as do the whole field of a largely experienced bunch of horses, with Katgary. And behind these we have Theatre Flame, San Benedetto, Bright New Dawn, and Workbench just being nudged along slightly at the back of the field as they make their way towards Rose Hill. They'll take 1 fence and then have a steady turn back towards home. It's the Grey Tailor who leads them towards this next obstacle from Katgary and Theatre Flame as they climb over Rose Hill. Pop them over this, and out in front it is the Grey Tailor at an even pace, but a better pace than our first race of the day.
It certainly seems that way, Richard, as well, but I think the boys who are on the keen horse, the likes of San Benedetto and Bright New Dawn, they'd like them to be going even quicker, because San Benedetto, You can just see he's pulling Nick Schofield's arms out a little bit here. He'd much prefer if he was a bit more relaxed, Luke.
The Grey Taylor, though, has had 2 poor efforts, but he's given a really positive ride here. The one I'd love to be riding. Theatre Flame got a great run, Richard, ran on that inside.
Oh yes, I can hear the excitement in your voice, Luke. Theatre Flame still travelling comfortably behind the Grey Taylor. 3 fences well spaced out. Theatre Flame didn't get very high there as Grey Taylor led them over it. From in second place, Katgary. Theatre Flame just nudged along to regain the position. San Benedetto as they continue this steady turn. This is approaching 6 from the finish, the last of the ditches. The Grey Taylor over. From in second place, Katgary. A mistake by Bright New Dawn. He's been passed by Workbench as they continue their way back towards 5 from the finish. This is the last on the turn, and the Grey Taylor leading Katgary and Theatre Flame. San Benedetto towards the outside. Then Bright New Dawn trying to work back into it, and Workbench once again has been relegated to be the back marker. So the Grey Taylor leading Katgary. For the first time, Theatre Flame just shaken up. San Benedetto comes next, and then a gap of a couple of lengths to Bright New Dawn and Workbench, who briefly flattered but hasn't really got in it. 4 from the finish, a good leap by the Grey Taylor. Katgary's still stalking, waiting in second. Third for Theatre Flame, then San Benedetto racing in 4th place as they head down towards 3 from the finish. The Grey Taylor, Katgary, San Benedetto coming there pretty strongly in the blue and white. The Grey Taylor took off well in advance of the fence, gets to the other side with Katgary still sitting quietly. Is Henry Brook in 3rd place, then is San Benedetto, and approaching the second last, it's Katgary who is sent to the lead. Katgary for Pauline Robson, the stable that won this race 12 months ago, leads San Benedetto. The Grey Taylors are spent force in 3rd now. San Benedetto trying to throw down a challenge to Katgary as they head down towards the last. San Benedetto alongside Katgary, the final fence, they're in the air together. San Benedetto on the near side, Katgary the far side in the stripes, and it's San Benedetto who edges to the front. Katgary half a length away. Not much room on the inside for Katgary, but San Benedetto is driven away. Katgary produced on the near side to try and rally, but it's San Benedetto's race for Nick Schofield and Paul Nicholls. Beats his former stable companion Katgary into 2nd. Bright New Dawn is 3rd, Theatre Flame, the Grey Taylor and Workbench last of all. San Benedetto manages to grind out another success. Holds grand annual entry at the Cheltenham Festival. Nick